What's up, everyone? Hope your day has been going well so far. It's definitely been a very feisty end of the month. Not this smooth sailing that we had definitely hoped for, but again, like we talked about earlier today, we are finishing green across the crypto market. This is a great sign, but I do want to talk about just a few pieces of news that have come up today that are actually very exciting for the market moving forward. But I do want to raise the question, do we need to see this one thing take place before we can make that extension? So if you guys are new or haven't already, show your support for the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So in terms of altcoins, in terms of BTC, yeah, we're seeing a red day once again. You know, this week has just sucked. Let's call it what it is. And, you know, unfortunately, we didn't necessarily get enough news to propel things higher, but it may come down to one simple thing that we're waiting for to move the markets. Now, I'm not sure if anybody's heard the news today or saw the news, but what we are actually expected to see is Strategy raise $4.2 billion to accumulate more Bitcoin. This is something that they have regularly done over the course of 2025, but also over the course of history, and they just continue to stack and stack and stack. And I believe last I heard they actually control about 3% of the total BTC supply, which again, guys, their goal is to just accumulate and ride this thing out. So we're going to see where that heads to. Also got some news today that Coinbase actually bought $222 million worth of BTC in Q2, and they actually plan to continue buying. This is right from Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase. What we also are about to do is close some of the largest months we have seen in history for spot ETF accumulation. This will officially be the largest Ethereum addition month ever, but this will either finish as the second or the largest month in terms of spot Bitcoin ETF ever as well. So what we're seeing is, again, a lot of that momentum, a lot of that wind in the sails like we've been talking about, but the market is dealing with a little bit of fits, right? We have seen some retail capitulation. We've seen a little bit of that uncertainty creep back into the space. We're seeing a lot of open interest, guys, a lot of open interest across the crypto market. And we're having pretty big liquidations. Almost every day we're talking about $400 or $500 million at minimum in terms of liquidations. Unfortunately, over the past few days, it's been a lot more in terms of long leverage liquidations than short leverage liquidations. But I will say right now, it's very clear that they're still trying to suppress the market. There are still people betting heavily to the short side. When I looked at open interest before making this video, it's still very heavy imbalance. For BTC, for example, I can't remember if the ratio was a 0.95 or 0.97, so either a 3 or 5% imbalance to the short side. So yes, they are trying to essentially hold things back, and that is probably the reason why we have not taken this next leg yet. If you guys haven't noticed, as BTC dominance has been dropping, obviously we've seen altcoins doing well, climbing versus Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is somewhat stalled out. It's not really doing a whole lot since it set its new all-time high. We've kind of been stuck in this bull flag, which is a bullish formation. It's a good sign. We're still fighting that 20-day moving average. Even at the time of filming this video, I believe we're like 116.7 or so. But we just haven't been able to muster up enough strength to make that extension. Not enough people have been convinced to move their capital from the sidelines back into the crypto market. And the longer that plays out, it's not necessarily a great thing. And what we could end up seeing is actually a little bit of a retest, and I don't want to freak people out, a little bit of a retest in the charts, right? We could actually see BTC pull back down to about 114 or so. And again, don't want to scare anybody, but this is where the bottom of our bull flag currently sits. This is also where we currently have an open CME gap at. So we do run the potential that BTC could be just waiting to close this CME gap before we decide to take the next leg. It wouldn't be the first time we've done this historically speaking, and it could align perfectly because again, right now I don't want to say that we've lost a buying momentum, but when prices are discounted, it's a lot more easier to create a buying event, if that makes sense, right? People obviously want discounts. People want to accumulate at lower prices, and we're still waiting for that demand to catch up to the current prices in the crypto market. We've talked about this throughout 2025. We were waiting for that moment, and finally it hit. Finally, when we saw the bottoms back in April, and again, that shakeout that took place, I believe, in late May, early June, it finally got us to that point where we could actually send the market just a little bit higher. There's the potential that we just need that to take place again. What that could mean for altcoins is a little bit of retracement. Again, I don't want to freak you guys out, but sometimes we just need a little bit of a bounce to send things running once again. So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Understand that if we keep getting news like this, if we keep having these huge months in terms of institutional money, these huge quarters in terms of enterprises, if Strategy just keeps raising billions and billions and billions of dollars to accumulate BTC, there is going to be a moment where it does nothing but move the charts to the upside. Don't be fooled. So appreciate you guys. Have a great day. Show your love below. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.